guys, it's Michelle, and I'm putting together my little montage of me redesigning my raft. With the whole renovation update, they've added so many new buildable features and decorations that it was bound to happen, so let's go ahead and get started. First step was to move all of my resources to a little separate part that I had to build like this, with all these large storage chests. This is where all my raw materials are going to go. I had to move the animals right above it as well too, to keep them safe, since I'm going to demolish everything on this raft. Little by little, I demolished every single object on the raft, and it was kind of heartbreaking to do, considering that I spent almost 2 years playing on this single save. After demolishing all of the stuff on the raft, I was left with the bare basics, and I decided for my final that I would make mine 20 foundations wide, so a little bit smaller than what I originally had it before, and 28 long. And as I went along, I updated the floor to the newer look, and because I had most of my floor reinforced, I didn't have to waste that much metal reinforcing the new floor. But the ones that I did have to place down because I had to make my raft longer, I did have to reinforce those to make sure that Bruce wouldn't come along and demolish what I had done. What you are looking at here is the final setup for the base floor. And the thing is you will notice that some of the flooring here is the older style and some of it is the newer style. And this part is going to be the thing that cost me a lot of wood and a bit of plastic, because I need to go through here and basically just upgrade the floor. And as I do this, it's basically only costing me 2 pieces of wood and 2 plastic, because as I go through here and replace the old floor look with the new one, it's giving me back 1 piece of plastic and 1 piece of wood. So it actually worked out quite well in my favor here. The next step was for me to go ahead and paint the floor. And for my floor, I decided to paint it all consistent, the lightest gray possible that the game has to offer, because as a gray color being neutral, other colors will match it really easily. So that's why I picked the gray. But I painted the floor first before placing down any structures, because if I place down something like a rug and I don't see underneath of the rug or whatever structure I have, it's going to be really difficult for me to paint it, and so it just makes it a lot easier to go ahead and paint the floor to begin with. Once the floor of my raft was finally painted, it was time to go ahead and start the build. So from left or right, going out 10 tiles, I put down a double door on either side, and this is going to be the start of my smelting room. It's not going to be that big and it's not going to hold that much storage, but it's going to be where I put down 5 smelters, and it's going to be the first and most important part of the raft. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video process here, because this took me a very long time to complete. I went through a lot of materials, over 7 large storage boxes filled with wood, and the reason why it took me such a long time is because, well, when you run out of materials, you have to go back out and you have to farm more of them, and it's just a time sink. But also, I went between creative mode and my normal save with you guys, because I originally designed this in my creative mode, and then coming back to my real save, which is where I'm designing it with you all now. Also, something else to point out for those of you guys who do plan on renovating your own raft, have collection nets there at the ready, especially if you plan on using your existing structure, because the collection nets were able to give me the resources back. Not all of it, but it was still a good amount that I was able to continue the build, and I only really had to stop at like 2 large islands to get my scrap back, or just to cut down extra trees. So just a little tip for you guys who are planning on rebuilding your raft, have some collection nets at the ready. every time I added a new piece to my raft, it was starting to take shape a little bit more each time. And to be fair, that's how I designed this thing originally. It was kind of on the fly. I started off with one room, and then eventually, as I began to add more and more of the structures to it, I thought, hey, this might work. And it did. It worked out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with this, and hopefully that's the tip that I give to you guys and that you take away from this is, you know, build something that's yours and build something that's unique. My raft is now 100% complete in terms of building. I don't need to build any more structures on this, and this is how it turned out from the outside. I'll give you a full tour after I am 100% done adding all of the decorations and the paint. And that's what we got to talk about next is the paint, because this thing is kind of lacking as of right now. So I've got all my paint in my inventory, and I'm going to do a lot of red on this. I know that for a fact. I'm going to be doing a lot of red and yellow on this thing. So let's go and get started on painting, and you'll see a reoccurring theme starting to happen. With the new addition to the primary, well, with the secondary, so now that you can paint two colors on it, this is going to turn out absolutely gorgeous. I did decide to go for a theme with my painting, and that was I would paint every single staircase the red and the gold, as well as every pillar, to have some sort of continuity that flowed throughout the entirety of this build. I even decided to paint every single collection net the red and the gold to match the pillars and to match the staircases too. I even painted my picket fence white for the animals. And then the lighthouse. The lighthouse had to follow the same tradition as the one that I had before, and it needed to be black and white. The bottom I was going to start off with black, and then the alternating section was going to be white, but I didn't want to just pick plain white. I wanted to have something a little bit different, and I put a slight gray with a floral pattern there just to give it a little bit of a flair. And that's what it looks like 100% done. Really, really good. So subtle on that white pattern. My main house, which is the smelter room and the kitchen, had to be turquoise. My storage room, I decided to paint green since I didn't want it to be turquoise, but I wanted something very close to it that would still match, but at the same time be just a little bit different since this is where I'm going to hold all of my stuff. It's finally painted. So after getting it all set up, after getting it all built, it is 100% painted. The only thing that I have to do now is add the decorations. And this is going to be the most time-consuming part because not only do I have to add the decorations, but I also have to add everything else, smelters, just everything. The wheel, the sails, the flags, everything. So the first thing I guess is, well, let's start off with the new items that were added into the game that we can build together. So let's craft every single one of the new items that I will be placing on my very own raft. Starting off with the decorations down here, I know for a fact that I'll be using 2 stools like this. I'm going to have one of each on the couch, but I need some palm leaves and some rope for that. One of those, one of these. Oh! Let's put that in there. And then a sectional like that. There we go. I know I'm going to have a dining room table like this. And I'll have one of these tables as well, too. I'm going to have... well, how many was it? 4 of these, I think? Yep, 4 of those. Put those in here. I'm putting all my new stuff in here so that I can see. I will build the new lanterns, but I'm not sure how many I need because I know I need a lot. I want 2 fireplaces. I need a couple more of these medium trophies because I believe I only have 2. one of each of the new paintings, which requires paint. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One of each of the motivational signs. I do want one of each of the new flowers. At least one of each. Definitely the book piles. Can't forget this either, because I really want that. Oh, definitely on the candle. I'm running out of space, aren't I? Let's see what else we can craft here. Oh, definitely cutlery. Rugs, definitely. One for the bathroom. I want all of the new flags. A quill. A globe. The new clock. Definitely some curtains. A toilet. I will get my bathtub, definitely. And then a firewood placeholder. I do want these trash cans too. And I think that is all of the stuff that I'm gonna be putting on my raft that is new. So it's now time to decorate. And I'm gonna speed through, just like before, with placing down my decorations and all of that good stuff. are finished. Let me give you the grand tour. Starting off from the front of the raft right here, we have the smelter room. So going straight through here, I have my 5 smelters set up, and then all of the inventory for the stuff that gets smelted, like sand, metal, titanium, all of that good stuff there. Made it a smaller room because this isn't really my storage, even though I do like normally in the past I would like to keep my storage with all my smelters, but I decided to move my storage elsewhere. I love all the aesthetic stuff with this. It just makes it so much more inviting. And the paint job that I chose to do is quite simplistic. I didn't want to do too many multicolored stuff because it does get a little bit loud and overwhelming. But outside, I feel like the decorations came out quite nice with the new little lamps that are surrounding it. At night, this thing illuminates quite well. And connected to this, you can go out through here into the kitchen, and the kitchen, yes, is magnificently large, but there's multiple ways to get in here and there's multiple ways to get out. Right here is actually another way to get in from the smelters. You can actually go in through this way here. You can also go out this way, and it goes underneath the staircase, which leads you upstairs. Up here is where I have my wheel, my engine controls, some storage boxes here just to keep the aesthetics, and I have my sail right behind me. As you go up, you'll notice that I had to use these not necessarily ramps, but the ceiling that was sloped because I needed to have another level up here, and this is my storage room. A little couch in the corner so you can lay down and relax. In here, this is one of my favorite rooms, is the bathroom. I had to have a bathroom in this build. So I have a toilet over here, and then I've got a nice little tub here that I can lay down and relax, just like so. And I can look out the window as I'm soaking and have a good view outside of my own raft. I like it a lot. Coming out of the bathroom, so this is my storage, like I said. I have these staircases that go up to the top deck, and all of this, by the way, that room that we were just in, that bathroom, is actually part of the lighthouse. I had to have a lighthouse in my build, and I had to design it a little bit differently than before. But up here, we have this little plateau area. It links across over here to where the animals are located, and I do have the animals separated. It's a 2x8 wide, and then as it goes down to the bottom floor, it's smaller. So I have a floor for my llamas with the sprinklers behind there, a floor for all of my goats, and then a floor for all of my chickens. And you can get up by using the ladder or by using the staircase like this. So the buildings are all interlinked together. Going back to the kitchen though, you can see where that sloped roof really comes into play inside the build here. And it worked out well because that turquoise with the brown really frames this room quite well. With the decorations all over, I really love everything they've added. It's taken me so long to do this build with you all, folks, but it was well worth it. Absolutely magnificent. In here, I have some storage for some crops. And then this is where my engines are located out back here. I also have another staircase that can bring me up from the back to the top floor. I wanted a lot of staircase action so that I could be able to get to anywhere on the raft as fast as possible. But this is a little patio area with the nice little lights from above. But the engines, I decided to go ahead and cap those and put a little roof on top of those just for aesthetic purposes. And behind is where I have all of my biofuel tanks, my battery chargers, and some storage back there to hold all of that. Inside here, I have my bees. This is temporary for right now until I decide to change it. And this is what the water tank looks like on the side. Not too pretty, but, you know, I was able to manage doing fewer pipes than I thought, so worked out quite well. And the 2 pumps right here to feed the animals to the sprinkler system. Overall, I'm really happy with this build. There is one little thing I didn't get to show you. And that's my own bedroom. I have my own bedroom with my own little entrance to get up in there. Like this. And I wanted it nice and cozy because, well, it's your personal bedroom with a little bit of storage on the sides. Absolutely nice. And then if we go to the top of the lighthouse, nothing too fancy up there, but I'll show it off. The little piano in here, a little bed in case if I need to sleep quickly for the night. But you come up in here, and you're met with this little area here. I have a zip line that takes me down. Just like so. I am super happy with this design, and I honestly can't wait to sail it off with friends and everybody. So I'm really looking forward to Chapter 3. This was so exciting. Took me ages to get this together, to build it for you guys, but I think it's come out incredibly nice. And that is going to do it for this build, guys. I really hope that you have enjoyed this as much as I have, and until then, take care, and I'll see you next time.